Hey guys, we're out in our garden today and we're planting bulbs because it is fall.
Yep, so today we're gonna plant Ranunculus. If you're not familiar with those, sit back and watch because we're gonna talk to you the ins and outs of how to get these planted in your garden. These are tiny little bulbs. You can see them here in my hands. They actually look like little squids or little bunches of bananas. It's really cool. So we've got a whole box of them here. Now, before we plant these, there's a couple of things you need to know. First off, you can plant these right now in the fall season if you live in zones 8 through 10. If you live in zones 2 through 7, you'll need to wait to plant these until late winter or early spring because they won't be hardy enough to survive your winters. Now, whether you're planting your Ranunculus either in a container or out in your garden, just in the ground, you need to make sure that they're planted in well-draining soil. They don't like to be in standing water or in really wet areas. To plant your Ranunculus, first you're going to need to know the top and the bottom of these. It's really easy to figure out. The top side of any Ranunculus bulb usually has like a woolly or furry kind of top to it. You can see it right here. And then the bottom, it's actually going to be the very bottom with the squid arms or legs. And there could be some roots actually down there too. So just make sure the woolly part is pointed up and those squid legs and roots are pointed directly down. So to plant these, you'll need to plant them 2 to 3 inches below the soil surface, and you'll need to space them anywhere from 4 to 8 inches apart, depending on how big they are. Now, the caveat is make sure to read all the information on the packaging that your bulbs come in. So when planting bulbs, we like to just place them out on the surface of the container or even out in the garden just to see what it can possibly look like before we plant them in the ground, just to make sure the spacing's right and it's going to be a really pretty configuration. So what we like to do just to make sure that we're spacing them correctly is just bring out our hory knife, and you can see it's got graduated depth markings on it for digging, but we also can use it for just spacing itself. We've got that minimum of 4 pretty much around this whole container between all these. Yep. So our configuration's looking good, our spacing's fine, so let's get these planted in the ground. I'm going to use this hory knife and go to the 2-inch mark. I'm going to mark it right here with my hand, and then I'm just going to put this down on the ground here into the soil. I'm going to move this out of the way, and then I'm just going to place that down in there. Now that our bulbs are planted, we just need to place this container out in the garden and let it sit until this next late winter or early spring, once they start popping up out of the ground. That's our visual cue to then start consistently watering them. And then we can add some fertilizer in to either we're watering or time-release fertilizer. The biggest step is to make sure once they start coming out of the ground, place them in a full sun location that gets at least 6 hours each day. With that, we've got a couple more we need to plant right here. We're going to go find some other areas around the garden, some other containers. Now, if you're looking for Ranunculus bulbs, we would recommend you go to EdenBrothers.com. You can check the link down below because we have a coupon code that you can use for 15% off your total purchase. Look down below in the description for that. Make sure to like and subscribe to get more garden content, especially this fall with bulb planting and different things going on. Thanks for being here, and we'll see you later.